Okay, so hi there. My name is Tomaž. Thank you for the introduction. I'm co-founder of Nordoon, also co-CEO. We are 1.5 years old company. What we do, as mentioned before, so we employ AI agents to automate supply chain operations. What does that mean is, okay, so we help to optimize finance operations, procurement operations, sales operations within certain industries. So we focus on manufacturers, we focus on wholesalers, logistic companies, so really traditional companies. So we just to, this is just to understand the whole picture, how we got started, with what kind of customers do we work with. For instance, we focus on companies that have from $500 million to 20 billion revenue, so it's enterprises more or less. So I'm gonna try to explain how we got started. This is of course our experience in the industry, or my experience in this industry. So I work in this industry for 10 years in go-to-market business development positions, building startups and selling, hands-on selling to enterprises. And this is basically kind of my experience, how we started, and this is also how we built Nordoon. So, okay, what is your toolbox? So you start your company, and now you have to get your first customer. So this presentation is all about. So what you have, let's start with that. So first of all, it's good you have domain knowledge, right? So if you want to work with enterprises, you have to understand what you're talking about. You also have to be credible when you're talking to potential customers or prospects. So you have to understand the lingo, you have to understand the customs. That helps a lot and goes a long way. The network, that's very important, right? So you know people, knowing people, it's great. They can open doors, they can help you to validate the first product. They can be your advisors, your help. Importantly here is when you start, you try to build some kind of MVP, a demo that's gonna wow your prospects. So this is quite a differentiator when it comes to enterprises and let's say smaller companies. So here, to show that you can bring them to value quickly can really move the needle, right? So it can say, well, I can solve this problem quickly. What's missing here is also partnerships that I did not include, but I was thinking about that together with also our investors. So to choose partners right. For instance, for us, working with manufacturers, or let's say in supply chain in general, for us, the best partner is Microsoft. Building on Microsoft stack for a reason, because all of our customers are Microsoft users. And that makes it super easy for our customers to decide whether to work or not work with us. When it comes to data privacy, security, we can do like a managed app. So Nordoon is a managed app and just position in their Azure tenant. And that's gonna make InfoSec guys within the company more comfortable. But I'll talk about that a bit later. And I think what goes really long way, and it's usually not said, right? So, or it's not told about. So this is my co-founder Blaž. That was, I think, second or third take of a video that we prepared for Y Combinator. We were never accepted. So, but yeah, we tried, right? So we are quite enthusiastic in this picture because we were, taking this shot again and again. And this is somewhere in Austria, actually, near Flachau on a petrol station. Taking a video with a nice background. Back then we were called Project Matterhorn. We were still in stealth, hence the mountains at the back. So why enthusiasm? I think this is I was thinking about this quite a lot, because what is the secret ingredient that you have and other bigger providers and solution providers that are also coming to this big great company you want to sell to? The difference is that you are super enthusiastic about the problem that they really don't like, right? So you come there with this amazing energy about and try to solve their boring everyday problem, and you come with passion, right? And you are doing that in every meeting for, I don't know, 6 months, 1 year, and you're really, bringing that energy in, and that really can move needle. They want to work with people like that, right? That really brings something fresh. As that's why I think it's super important. So the second question is who you're going to target. So we usually target VPs and C-level. Maybe you go down to the mid-market, the mid-management. You don't want to go lower than that because usually nobody will. So they might like your technology, or they would be good for testing first, but they will not help you sell internally. They would not like to engage into political kind of motion that you need to start internally in the company. So you want to work with VPs or C-level. We just had a discussion yesterday with one of the VCs, and they said that some companies are trying to kind of start with users. Well, we try that. In manufacturing, it doesn't work. It might work in different industry. In manufacturing, operations guys love operations. This is also a problem for onboarding, but nevertheless, they like firefighting. They really love it. So they will not try new technologies, for sure not. Okay, so where to find your prospects? So for us, what was super effective was LinkedIn. So especially having a network, reaching out like cold outreach, or just leveraging your network, going to domain-specific conferences, trade shows. We heard that before today several times, I think. It's very important to super hustle, to show your demo, your MVP to everybody so they get annoyed with you. So that's the way you do it. Warm intros, always great. For us to also secure first investment, it was crucial to start getting first, let's say, commitment outside of our network, because that was proving more that this is a real problem. So, and then we were leveraging our network later down the line. And there might be also other domain-specific channels. So you have to figure that out by yourself, right? So for us in manufacturing, what works is domain-specific conferences. Warm intros are by far the best. So to get some really nice logos on board, at least with the first conversations. So what works with cold outreach? So that for us, the biggest share of revenue that we have today was through the LinkedIn cold outreach. Oh, sorry, wrong button. So what works, what worked for us is to be quite frank and honest, right? So we're building, so maybe a bit of context. So I'm in this industry for 10 years. What I've seen is this and that and that. We're building this, and I would love your, giving your expertise, I would love your feedback. And also a nice long video of you making a short walkthrough for the MVP helps a lot. Based on our experience and the metrics on that. So at the beginning, we were reaching 6% conversion. So that means 100 MQLs, we would get 6 meetings. So that's quite a good result. At least it was back then. Now it's getting harder and harder. LinkedIn is getting flooded. So that worked really well, to be very honest, and just, to be a little scholar, asking a question, can you help me? You have a great experience in the field, please help me out. So it's interesting who will reply. I love that picture made by ChatGPT. So guy has kind of grown into the letter. So early adopters, obviously. So some tech-savvy people like to try new stuff, not necessarily the best fit. Desperate individuals, which I put in kind of 2 categories. One is they have a big pain they tried to solve before. That's the greatest. So the best scenario you can think of is you come to, we were just solving this for 1.5 years, tried to build this internally. We failed miserably, and then you come and you solve it in 1.5 days. This is great. It's just, okay, this is a well price. So I think this is great, but yeah, it's a bit random. And other, like this guy here, if you get to individual who's trying to, kind of scale up his career, trying to achieve some better position, and they're kind of stuck, and they see opportunity with you to be a superstar within the company, and you're going to be there, with all your energy, supporting, working for at the beginning, and supporting him to show the value for yourself and for him. So that's usually a great match. So let's say you get your first meeting. This is actually a print screen that it's a great story. So before we were called Extract AI, we kind of grew just from extraction, which is now just a portion of what we do, into agents. Just to give you a bit of kind of context. So that was kind of outreach to different stakeholders, and this is the boss. So it's a CEO of a really large company, and I was kind of nagging him, and at some point he replied this, and that changed everything. He replied with an email address of a CPO, so Chief Procurement Officer. And that was it, right? So that opened the door, and this is our customer today. So you need just that, right? So and it didn't take him a lot of time, but that's a great success, and it's right there. So he's a great guy. Okay, so now you got your first meeting, right? So my experience with corporates, you want to keep it short, especially with the first meeting, because when you get more involved, they're going to take more and more your time. They're going to start to tell you their personal stories and stories internally in politics and stuff like that. But at the beginning, you want to have it like short and just to get them excited, so that you get, how the win looks like is getting the next meeting. We usually show a demo. So just to kind of try to map it on their problem, talking to them, how they try to solve something. We have a really good idea. Knowing the domain, you have really good idea where their problems are. So you're testing the ground a bit, and then, show the demo as close to that problem as possible. And usually the next step that we suggest, it's a light POC. So small steps, because you don't, they will not commit a lot. They don't trust you. They don't know you. So what does that look like? It's a POC with no strings attached, no contracts, maybe a light NDA, which is going to take 3 weeks anyways with the corporates, but not paying for a POC. But POC for us is like 1-2 hours max. So the crucial part is that the demo that we did based on, let's say, dummy data, we now do it on their data. Because, especially in our industry, they will not believe it works until it works on their data. They will say, well, you prepared everything, it was pre-trained. They don't say it, but they feel that way. So you want to show that on their data. And this, the POC is all about. And when you're kind of focusing or kind of getting closer on what kind of use cases you want to work on with your customers, it's going to be the POCs are going to be super fast, right? So we just work with one customer now, a big German automotive customer. So we did a POC in basically 1 day. So everything was prepared for a thing that they tried to build in 1.5 years. And you come there and you're a superstar. So you were solving problem immediately. So let's say that you excited them. So here is the sales process, how it's going to look like. You can expect 10 to 15 meetings before you close. It's going to take everything from 1 year to 9 months or more. My record is 8 days, but it could take 12 months easily. So 8 days, this is US, it's not Europe. Sorry. So usually you will have to talk to 5 to 8 stakeholders. So usually you start with VP supply chain, then it's going to be some colleagues. It's going to be also maybe someone from finance, for sure, from IT security, data privacy. Now these departments are getting bigger and bigger in these companies. So there are like certain stakeholders, so kind of focused stakeholders that you have to talk to. Or not, they would just send you long questionnaires that you have to reply to. So yeah, a lot of meetings there. Our experience, they were always asking us about information security. So if the problem is big enough, InfoSec is never a problem. This is my experience. So our first customer was a German consultancy, and we did a we did a solution together for a big German bank, and we were dealing with some really delicate data, and we were like 2 months old company, and they helped us to file everything and prepare everything within 2 hours. So it was not a problem because the pain was big enough, and they were really lagging with the project, and they needed to show the results. Competition, well, at least in our space, usually it's that somebody doesn't want to use your product, or, sorry, we're not yet there. So in the sales, usually it's they don't want to change, right? So the status quo, usually in our business, is no change. It's the biggest competitor. So what about price? So talking to different people, or also VCs, they would always say, yeah, you have to charge a lot, right? Otherwise, they will not take you seriously. I'm still not sure about that. I always know, so as a salesman, it hurts me the most that I didn't charge enough. But I think reality is everything goes. With first 5 customers, it's not just about the money. They have to pay. They have to pay for the pilot then. POC, okay, it's quick and easy, quick and dirty. But for the pilot or for the full implementation, they have to pay. Otherwise, there will be no commitment. They will not give you enough resources, and the project will fail. But you have to be flexible here. Okay, so now we have first enterprise customer. Let's say that you close it. Now new problems come. So big customers are big and complex. You realize that really quickly. So you have a lot of stakeholders. Some users don't want to use it. Some just ignore you. You have to find a way how you're going to motivate them throughout the process. I usually start with one use case. Enterprises, even though they don't say it, they expect platform. So they will try to, spread you thin to have as much as use cases. So you have to train saying no. And this is, let's say this year, beginning of the year, we did a lot of that, saying no, trying to focus. Otherwise, you just become an integrator. One person can block the whole project. So I think this is a big topic with AI agents in general. So the crucial part with AI agents will be transferring knowledge from people to AI agents. So people are the business process. If they don't use it and transfer that knowledge, it's really hard to get and show some results. So you want to keep them close. You want to work with them every day or maybe every second day. So during the project phase when you're starting a project. They're used to being served. They don't say about that, but they're corporate. They're always served. They like to be addressed, work with. That you're proactive, that you are always on your toes, helping them, asking for help, and so on. So you have to do what they expect. And ask for feedback and a referral. This is really hard, especially in our industry. The golden standard is case studies, and they will push back that every time. They don't like to do that, and that's why it's a holy grail, because nobody wants to do it, or really rare companies want to do it. But that doesn't mean that you're not pushing, right? You're a startup. You'll do everything to have that reference, because once you get that reference, with company like Nordoon, that's going to help you to open another door, and then you start to connect. Also colleagues between the companies, and that's going to help you to, grow that pipeline as well as the customer base. So I'll close here. So I'll suggest, let's connect, especially if you're working in manufacturing, wholesale, logistic companies. You should definitely talk to me to help you out to optimize your operations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tomaž. If you could stay just for a moment. As a founder who's leading the sales charge, how do you balance this internal drive to get things done quickly versus the reality of pace of change at an enterprise customer? How do you balance that from a practical perspective and in your approach?
Okay, yeah. I think one is definitely it's a numbers game, so your pipeline has to be thick enough. Because it's easily, especially in Europe, we really like vacations.
Especially August, right?
No, it's all the time. It's easily like 3 weeks between meetings to get the stakeholders, in the meeting. So I think that pipeline is definitely one of them, and is diversification. So what we learned, we work with both European markets and US markets. They tend to be faster, so you need both, right?
So spread your opportunities
Yeah.
out. Right. Great, thank you very much. Thank you.